Hello and namaste, my name is Tim Halloran and this is a weekly astrology forecast for the final week of 2013. And I know it hasn't exactly been a weekly forecast this month. It's been very busy for me. For those of you who can sense this energy, you understand that it's pretty tense, it's pretty tumultuous. There is a lot of big things happening right now. So as you can probably tell, I'm not in Savannah right now, I'm in my hometown of Buffalo, New York. But it is so important to get this astrology report out and really address New Year's Day. We have a very unusual and rare New Year's. This is not your average New Year's. This is definitely special. There's definitely a lot in the works between 2013 and heading into 2014. So we can definitely feel the tension building up till New Year's. There's a lot of aspects happening on that day, which is definitely important. It's definitely symbolic, you know? And yeah, like, we're experiencing some tension right now. And wherever there is great tension, there is great potential. And there is so much potential right now. This is major wake-up time. And I think, you know, a lot of people in this New Age movement, we anticipated something on December 21st, 2012. A lot of people had the idea that things were going to change almost immediately on that day. And things did probably change on that day, but what happened through 2012 and 2013 was not that we simply flew through a door and entered a brand new reality the way so many people seem to think. Actually, what seemed to happen through 2012 into 2013 was a very big breaking down and a disintegration and a falling apart and a recognizing of things that are disintegrating and falling apart and no longer appealing in our lives, in the whole world. And this is a part of building the new paradigm. Yes, this new age is coming, but it's not going to come without us doing the work, without us putting the effort into us, and especially not without us putting the passion and the heart into it. So now we're at the end of 2013. And we have this really remarkable astrological alignment happening on New Year's. So we have a new moon on New Year's. This only happens every 20 years or so. And we have a stellium in Capricorn conjunct Pluto. And a new moon conjunct Pluto only happens every 250 years. This is even a supermoon. It's close to the Earth. Today we've got the Sun and Mercury, they're both conjunct. They're both square to Uranus. More tension. This is tension between our higher self and our ego. We're trying to find these channels and bridge these gaps, that way we can step into our real roles. We've got Mars square to Pluto. There's some aggression, there's some passion, there's some tension beneath the surface. And it's causing us to transform. It's causing us to transform our will, the way we implement our energy and our goals, our desires, what we are striving for. What is it that we want to achieve? Is it the old paradigm, or is it something beyond? Do we have new goals and new dreams? Does the world have to change its perspective on what it really wants? And Tuesday, Mercury is going to be conjunct Pluto, square Mars. Then Wednesday is the first, 6:14 a.m. is the new moon, falling at approximately 11 degrees Capricorn. You want to look at 11 degrees at your cardinal signs in your birth chart to see what planets are being affected by this cardinal grand square that is exact pretty much on the New Year's Day. What is definitely exact on New Year's Day with this new moon is a stellium in Capricorn. That's the Sun, Moon, Pluto, and Mercury are all conjunct in Capricorn, entering this grand square. So what does all this mean? Again, we are talking about a lot of tension here. A grand square is the most tense aspect in astrology, and we can feel it. Why there is so much tension right now is the same reason why we experience so much tension in our stomachs before we vomit. Why there is so much rumbling in the depths of the earth before a volcano erupts. This is what's happening energetically. We're about to pop this cork off of here. because as it just so happens, there has been some very major blockages put on us, put on our culture, put on our entire world that has been limiting us to this false, really ignorant, small, contained, restrictive, prison-like reality that we have been living in and suffering in and being tortured in for thousands of years now. And this tension is a passion, is a righteous rage to remove these blockages, to reunite with our true self, to fix the world, to fix this culture, to fix perverted masculinity, to restore healing arts to our religion, to recreate a new church that actually understands true religion, to teach ourselves the way schools were originally invented for, what philosophy and life and getting into the depth and the reality of real life is actually all about. We have been taught and conditioned and limited to believe that our reality and who we are is limited to our job, our paycheck, our school major, how much money we make, what we do for a living. Even in family life, there is so much of this unconscious restriction and chains being passed from generation to generation as we feel guilt for not being like our parents, for not reading our Bible, for reading our Bible, for doing an occupation that is unusual, for being someone that is unusual. We have been feeling shameful and guilty for our true self because our true self is not a part of this limited, skewed reality that somehow or another this world has found itself imprisoned in. So, New Year's resolution. This is kind of an old tradition. You know, some people take it seriously, some people take it lightly, but it's kind of just like a traditional fun thing we do on New Year's. This year's New Year's resolution is going to be very, very important because what you want to build, what you want to be in 2014, you can build, you can be. In fact, this old paradigm has already fallen. It's on fire, it's disintegrating. There's no way they can fix themselves at this point. It's done. It's over with. And guess what? This tension is reaffirming this fact to us. We can be reassured. We can be confident in who we are and what we understand. That way, guess what? It's time to wake up, world. And we can do it. We can help wake up other people. We can step into this role that is needed so desperately right now, which is it's time to change. So many of us has been desperately seeking change for a long time. The United States of America, everyone says God bless the United States of America. Everyone loves to call the Founding Fathers really amazing. Guess what? The United States of America never, not even for one day, truly followed the ideals of the Founding Fathers. It's a huge lie. Wake up. It's time to change. Do you actually want to be a free country? Do you actually want to be a free world? Do you actually want to have liberty and the pursuit of happiness? These are the things that are being taken from us by the United States of America and the world, whoever you want to call it. And this is not about being angry at any particular person. It's not about hating the sinner. It's about hating the sin. And it's okay to hate the sin because guess what? It's time to chop that sucker's head off. Yeah. This sin is this repeated cycle of suffering that we just get sucked in again and again and again. And a lot of this tension now is revealing this to us. We can see it, we can feel it, we can see the chains, we can feel the chains, we see it in everybody, everybody's suffering. They don't realize it. It hurts to see the world this way. And so there is this huge buildup of energy now that's going to be carrying us through the year of 2014. And this is us stepping into our role, into our passion, into our truth. And we're not going to be afraid anymore. We're not going to care about other people's prejudices. We're not going to be guilt-tripped into feeling bad about making people feel uncomfortable with the fact that they are suffering. The best thing you can do for people is let them know you are not actually comfortable. You just believe you are. And I don't care if it upsets you, because I love you and I want the best for you. And you know what? It's time to get out of here. We're getting out. It's okay to be passionate. It's okay to have lots of energy. It's okay to be energized and strong. It's not about falling into the back anymore. It's not about turtling anymore. It's about being strong and showing people through our living action what the new paradigm is all about. So the energy is very tense right now, and you know, this is all about spirituality at the end of the day. We all have various spiritual practices that we use to connect with our higher self and our inner truth and with God and with the Mother, whatever you want to call it. These practices have never been more important, you may have realized. They are indeed a tether to the spiritual world. And with the world being as it is right now, and with things being so intense, if we lose that tether, if we forget about our connection to God, the spiritual world, higher self, we're dead. And you know, as I already said, once you awake, you can't really fall back asleep, because you've gone past the point of no return. What happens is, if you lose connection with the spiritual world, you feel miserable. You feel dead, because you're going back to your little, mundane, not real, prison-like reality. So we are embodying these spiritual truths. We are bringing the world these spiritual understandings. We are bringing the world these spiritual practices and ancient rituals that the world so desperately needs now. This New Age movement has a lot of pagan revival, ancient revival. The reason for that is the world is dying right now. In ancient traditions, they understood how to heal the earth. They understood how to create abundance. And there is abundance. There is so much abundance here. Even as I sit here and complain about the suffering in this world, that's not the real world. We're not living in the real world, or should I say, we weren't living in the real world. People that are conditioned to believe that there is not enough abundance to pull the world out of suffering, out of poverty, out of starvation, are ignorant. And people who are in power, political power, having lots of money, and they believe that the world just has to be that way because that's the world and that's how it is, are ignorant. And they need to be out of power now. The world can't be steered by people like that anymore. No, we're done with that. That's bullshit. There is so much abundance in this world, they just have no idea because they don't know. They're not in connection with anything. These are the people who have very much taken power for a very, very long time, and there is this power shift that's happening right now. And who's taking our power back now is us. The individuals who understand compassion, love, humanitarianism, that we're all one family, that if people are starving in Africa, I'm not satisfied because the world isn't satisfied yet. The world should not look like this. The world should not be like this. So there's a lot of intensity, you know, there's a lot of passion coming forth right now. But at the same time, you must keep in mind, there is so much abundance right now. The Mother is behind all of us. She's working through all of us right now. She's channeling through all of us right now. She's healing all of us right now, through all of us right now. She's going to show us what the real world could be like. But first, we have to be willing to back her up. First, we got to be willing to stand up for her. First, we got to be willing to take the changes within ourselves first. First, we have to cut the old paradigm out of our own system. First, we have to take the generations after generations of suffering, of abuse, of subconscious misery, and cut it out of ourselves. That way, when we stand free and liberated, embodied in our truth, in this essence, then we can stand behind the Mother. And we can revive, and we can show, look, this is what the world could be. And we can do it, and we will do it. And that's what this New Year's tension is all about. We're bringing it to the surface now. It's time to see it. It's time to live it. It's time to embody it. This is not hearsay anymore. This is not talk anymore. We are living in the new world. We're living in the new paradigm. And it's never going to be the same again. Never. Never will we go back. So on that note, there's so much going on. I can take a look at your birth charts if you click the link below. Check 11 degrees, especially Capricorn. That's where the stellium's going to be on New Year's. I can't promise that I'm going to get back to you before New Year's. Things are very, very busy on this end as well. But we're definitely keeping each other in check. You know, like, it's never been more important to form our communities, to be with people who are on the same vibration, because we are forming that security with each other. You know, forming these communities. And then as a community, as a group, we can turn and we can go out and we can spread this love, this light, this compassion, and it absolutely will saturate the entire earth. There is no way that this crumbling old paradigm can stand up anymore. It's all being flooded with a new light, with a new understanding, a humanitarianism. It's a revival of the Renaissance. It's a revival of what truth, humanity. We are spiritual beings. Art, music, all of these things we do, they're all spiritual things. We're going back to this understanding, this core root understanding. And once we're seated in this, well, this world won't be such a hell anymore. Alright? So let's see the hell, let's be sincere with the hell, and let's change it to heaven. We can do it. We are doing it. So, I'm wishing you the very best. I'll be speaking with you soon. Namaste.